Vancha Kalpatu Kripa Sindhu Kalivasa Patitanam Pavani Vaishnavi Namo Namah Ananta Koti Vaishnavi Jai जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So yesterday uh, we read to here that Mahaprabhu on his way back to Jagannath Puri, he crossed the jungles with his comrade Balabhadra. So Balabhadra was accompanying Mahaprabhu to take care of him. And Balabhadra reported this when he went back to Jagannath Puri. He reported to all the devotees there how Mahaprabhu showed so many miracles in the jungle. In the jungle, there are no human beings, it's only animals. So, what miracles did Mahaprabhu show? So, Balabhadra mentioned this is Balabhadra saw with his own eyes. How fortunate that Mahaprabhu was walking and there was a tiger sleeping on the side. Mahaprabhu, he actually he touched the head of the tiger with his lotus feet. And as soon as the tiger lifted his head to look at Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu gestured, looked at the tiger and made a gesture that get up and start chanting the names, the holy names of Hari. So as soon as Mahaprabhu said this, as soon as Mahaprabhu instructed, the tiger became ecstatic. The tiger stood up on his 2 feet and raised the two hands. That they have their 4 legs. So 2 legs were on the ground and 2 legs were in the air. And the tiger started singing Hare Krishna Mahamantra, started dancing in ecstasy. And not just this tiger, there were deers, there were birds, the monkeys. So now in the jungle, we know there's a predator, and then there are, the tiger is the epitome, the topmost of all predators, and they eat the deers. But these deers and these tigers, they were all dancing in ecstasy together. It was not that the tigers, had any kind of feelings that now we are going to hunt on this deer and eat it. No, they were in ecstasy. They were all chanting the holy names of Krishna, and they were dancing with Mahaprabhu. This is the miracle that Mahaprabhu did in the jungles. That the predator and um, the lowest in the pyramid of this the animals, like tiger eats the deers eat the grass, and then there are monkeys, there are birds, and there are other animals, the wild boars and all the other wild animals. They were all together and doing Nam Sankirtan. Now, in our minds, we may have this doubt that how is it possible that the animals are doing Nam Sankirtan? How can they pronounce or they say the names of, or rather, how can they speak only? They can't speak like human beings. But this is what we need to understand. That is the potency of God. What we can see, what we can understand or perceive with our limited intelligence is is only restricted to us because it is based on our limited intelligence. If God is also limited like us, then that person cannot be God. God is someone who can do beyond what we can perceive. And that is why we need to understand that Mahaprabhu, being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, everything is possible from Him, for Him. He is the Creator. He has created everything. If He wants, the tigers can speak. If He wants, the monkeys can start speaking. When He wants, when He desires, they all start dancing and chanting the holy names of the Lord. So, this is the miracle that He did in the Jharkhand forest on his way back to Jagannath Puri. And all this, the elephants, they were dancing in the name of Krishna. They were also dancing. So Balabhadra, he saw all these things with his own eyes. Just imagine how fortunate. And he went back and he reported, he told this all to all the devotees of Mahaprabhu, who were waiting for Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. Now, from this time, that is when Mahaprabhu was 31 years of age, Mahaprabhu continually lived in Jagannath Puri, in the house of Kashi Mishra, until Mahaprabhu's disappearance in the 48th year. So, when Mahaprabhu was 48 years, he ended his Leela in this material world, and he disappeared. He did his disappearance Leela. So from 31 years to 48 years, he was continuously in Jagannath Puri. Then he did not travel after that. And he was living in the house of Kashi Mishra till the time of his disappearance. At the time of Sankirtan in the temple of Tota Gopinath. Now, there are many, our acharyas have given many different pastimes how the disappearance Leela of Mahaprabhu happened. And one of it is that Mahaprabhu was doing Sankirtan in the temple of Tota Gopinath in Jagannath Puri, where our Gadadhar Pandit was given, he was serving Tota Gopinath. And there, Mahaprabhu, he did his disappearance Leela in the Tota Gopinath. And also in Tota Gopinath, there is also a very beautiful Leela that the deities in this temple, they were actually standing, but because Gadadhar Pandit was very old when he became very aged and he was not able to reach out till the top to do the services. So Tota Gopinath, he sat down. And if you see the deities now, it's actually how we sit in the Padmasan. That is the position how Tota Gopinath deities are sitting. So that it would become easier for Gadadhar Pandit to do all the services, to put a garland. And so this Leela had happened. Previously, Tota Gopinath was standing, but now Tota Gopinath is sitting. During these 18 years, when Mahaprabhu was in Jagannath Puri, his life was one of settled love and piety. He was surrounded by numerous followers, all of whom were of the highest order of the Vaishnavas and who were distinguished from the common people by their purest character and learning, firm religious principles, and spiritual love for Radha Krishna. Sri Swarup Damodar, who had been known by the name of Purushottam Acharya while Mahaprabhu was in Nadia, joined him from Banaras and accepted service as Mahaprabhu's secretary. No production of any poet or philosopher could be laid before Mahaprabhu unless Sri Swarup Damodar had passed it as pure and useful. So many poets, many people would come and they would write something, some poems, some verses, some shlokas, or in glorification of Mahaprabhu, or they would write glorification of Radha and Krishna. So many poets, many philosophers, many writers would come and they would write and they would want to give it to Mahaprabhu. And Sri Swarup Damodar, who is our uh, Lalita Sakhi in Krishna Leela, Swarup Damodar was the assistant, was a secretary of Mahaprabhu. Everything had to go through Swarup Damodar. Unless it was approved, Swarup Damodar would read those verses or those writings or whatever was given, whatever was sent for Mahaprabhu. Swarup Damodar would personally read it and see whether it was given um, in pure devotional service, like was it a pure devotional service, what was the context, because many people would write like sahajiyas, that oh, Radha and Krishna, they are together and dancing around a tree, or some people would come, some women, they would go crazy, they would think that oh, we want to marry Mahaprabhu. So all this was never encouraged or accepted by Mahaprabhu. These were rejected things. Mahaprabhu is, people would say that just like Krishna is Vrindavan Nagar. Nagar means somebody who is beloved of all the women of that town. So in Vrindavan, Krishna is the paramour for all the damsels of Vrindavan. But Mahaprabhu is not like that. That was not Mahaprabhu's mission. Krishna came as Mahaprabhu for a specific purpose. So Mahaprabhu was not doing all such things and never encouraged such thoughts and such expressions. So Swarup Damodar was very strict. He would go through all the verses and everything that was presented, and only if it passed his check, only if he said, yes, this is fine, this can be given to Mahaprabhu, only that would go to Mahaprabhu, and that was read by Mahaprabhu. Otherwise, they were not sent to Mahaprabhu directly. Rai Ramanand was his second mate. So one was Swarup Damodar, and there was Ramanand Rai, who is again our Vishaka Sakhi. Is also anyhow, we'll not get into that details. So Ramanand Rai was Mahaprabhu's second mate. So very close, very intimate associate of Mahaprabhu. Both Ramanand Rai and Sri Sarup Damodar would sing while Mahaprabhu expressed his sentiment on a certain point of worship. Paramananda Puri was his minister in matters of religion. So Sripad Paramananda Puri was Mahaprabhu's minister in matters of religion. And there are hundreds of anecdotes described by Mahaprabhu's biographers, which we do not think it will meet here to reproduce. So all those various anecdotes that are there, given by the biographers of Mahaprabhu, they are all of it is not possible to add all of them here. So here many things will be missing. Now, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that Mahaprabhu slept short. Mahaprabhu did not sleep for 10 hours, 12 hours, not even 8 hours. Mahaprabhu slept for very short time. His sentiments carried him far and wide in the firmament of spirituality every day and every night. And all the admirers of Mahaprabhu and the followers of Mahaprabhu watched him throughout. So everybody knew what was the life and what was his daily routine, his schedule. Everybody could see because Mahaprabhu was a transparent, his life was transparent. Not that he was doing something hidden behind doors and walls. So everybody could see the exemplary life of Mahaprabhu, how spiritually fixed up he was, how his principles were so fixed, how the principles and principles of all the followers of Mahaprabhu, how they were fixed and how pure they were. So Mahaprabhu worshipped, communicated with his missionaries in Vrindavan. Missionaries means Srila Rupa Goswami was there, Srila Sanatan Goswami was there, Srila Jiva Goswami was there, other Goswamis were there. So he worshipped and he communicated with his missionaries in Vrindavan and conversed with those religious men who newly came to visit him. So there were many men who would come to visit him who were also religious, and with them Mahaprabhu would converse, would discuss these religious matters. Then what were the other activities that Mahaprabhu did? He sang and danced, took no care of himself, and oftentimes he lost himself in religious beatitude. Means Mahaprabhu was so engrossed, was so absorbed in the names of Krishna. When he was dancing, when he was singing the holy names of Krishna in Kirtan, he was not careful about himself. Sometimes he would fall down, sometimes he would become unconscious and he would fall on stones, he would fall on thorns. While he was dancing, there were so many thorns and stones that would prick his lotus feet. Blood would come out profusely. When he would fall, so many times blood would come out of his forehead. His arms would get all bruised. But he was not, because he was not aware of himself. He was completely lost in this, in his uh, in his sentiments or in his feelings, in his ecstasy in the holy names. So all who came to him believed in him as the all beautiful God appearing in the nether world for the benefit of mankind. So all those people who actually came to meet Mahaprabhu, who actually got this opportunity of seeing Mahaprabhu, they understood that this person is not an ordinary person, but he is actually the all beautiful, all potent, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself, who has appeared in this material world just for the benefit of all of us, for all mankind. So they were convinced because they were seeing his activities by their own eyes. They were able to see, they were able to understand everything with their own intelligence. That was the mercy of Mahaprabhu on all of them. Mahaprabhu loved his mother all along and sent her Mahaprasad now and then with those who went to Nadia. So whenever somebody would travel, when some devotee would travel from um, Nadia to Jagannath Puri, or some devotees were traveling from Jagannath Puri to Nadia, Mahaprabhu would send Mahaprasad for his mother. Please take for my mother. Please take for my mother. So Sachimata, he loved Sachimata so much. So um, and humility, no, he was most amiable in nature. Yesterday we saw the incidents when Mahaprabhu, he's so humble through his nature, through his own personal behavior. He's showing that how important amanena manadena this is. Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishmuna amanena manadena kirtaniya sadai. Mahaprabhu is showing this by his own activities, by his own behavior. The sannyasis were sitting at a different place, but Mahaprabhu entered the arena where all the sannyasis were sitting. He paid his dandavats, prostrated obeisances. He laid down flat on the ground and offered his obeisances to all the sannyasis. Then he washed his feet, his lotus feet, because sannyasis at that time they would not wear any slippers or any footwear, so the feet would become very dirty. How to take that dirty feet into near all the sannyasis? So out of respect, out of utmost respect, Mahaprabhu washed his lotus feet, and then he did not go and directly sit with the sannyasis. He sat next to the area where he washed his feet. But because the sannyasis saw that bright effulgence coming from his body, they were all attracted to him. And then they requested Mahaprabhu to come and sit with them, to join them. So his nature was most amiable. Everybody could, see that he's such a humble, he's so pure, he's so loving, so compassionate that everybody could go to him. Humility was personified in Mahaprabhu. He never accepted. If somebody would say that you are Vishnu, Mahaprabhu would close his ears and say, Vishnu, 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 Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu. What are you saying? Mahaprabhu could never accept that. He never accepted anybody calling him the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, and that was not, he was not acting. There was no duplicity in him. He was genuinely, that was his genuine humility. His sweet appearance gave cheer to all who came in contact with him. We can understand this even when we see the deities of Gaur Nitai, when we see the deity of Nityananda Prabhu, when we see the deity of Mahaprabhu, how pleasing it is to the heart. So just imagine Mahaprabhu, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, personally standing in front of our eyes. How sweet that appearance is. How cheerful we become when we just see the deities. And just imagine those people fortunate enough who have seen Mahaprabhu with their own eyes. What would be their level of bliss? He appointed Nityananda Prabhu as the missionary in charge of Bengal. So Nityananda Prabhu was sent that you go to Bengal and you take charge of Bengal, where all the Bengalis were busy in in breaking the four regulative principles, especially in the non-veg eating. Go there and you give your kripa, because Nityananda Prabhu is most merciful. So Nityananda Prabhu was given that charge of Bengal. He dispatched 6 disciples. Now, actually, I'm having this urge to mention this, that our Srila Prabhupada gave this charge of Bengal to Nitai Kripa Pradayini, our Srila Jai Pataka Swami Guru Maharaj, who is Nitai Kripa Pradayini. Mahaprabhu gave this charge to Nityananda Prabhu, and our Srila Prabhupada gave this charge to our Guru Maharaj, Srila Jai Pataka Swami Guru Maharaj. He Jai. So, so anyhow, Krishna willing, we'll continue reading again tomorrow. I crossed a little more today as per our time. So I'm very sorry. But Krishna willing, will continue reading tomorrow again. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhyayev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।